Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to Women Forum Live with your host, Beanish. I am coming to you live for on the at almost the middle, kind of the beginning basically of the last week of Ramadan of 2026. And as I join you, am coming to you for in a very special session today. Even though Ramadan is almost over, it's still early enough, in my opinion, to kind of recollect and reflect on what we have been up to this Ramadan. Ramadan comes every year to kind of reset our lives. Whereas we are resetting our iman, whereas we are resetting our habits, good and bad, we also have an opportunity to reset our fitness and our healthy or non-healthy lifestyles, as it may be for some of us. And so today we are joined by an amazing person. You might already know of her. In fact, you probably do already know of her. She posts a lot of relatable content on Instagram and TikTok with her name as a title. And she actually is a board certified nutritionist and also posts and has an Instagram that, again, you already follow, most likely, called Food with Rimsha. And please help me welcome our guest for today, Rimsha Azhar.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, Rimsha. How are you?
How are you? Thank you
I'm
for the even better than deserved introduction.
You deserve that and more. And as if you couldn't tell, I was having a little bit of trouble like recollecting my words because of all the amazing technical, beautiful complications we've been having today. But irregardless, I'm sorry for some reason the sun has decided to kiss me on different parts of my face today. So excuse that reflection, you guys. So welcome to our live, Rimsha. I am already a fan for so many years that I can't even count. You are simply amazing in every way, mashallah. I think you are giving a new name to influencer in that your content is not only worth watching for the aesthetic beauty of it and just what we get from it, but also because there's so much information that can be gained for us to improve our lives. So, uh, you know, before we begin our questioning, and specifically posed towards Ramadan and nutrition, I want to ask you, and this was a guy's off-topic question. You know, I'm a little weird. I always like to ask at least one off-topic question. So, how did you get into this influencing and especially like posting nutrition content, etc.?
So influencing came separately and the food content came separately. I was actually just talking to someone about this the other day. The food content what became when I got certified with nutrition. And sorry, your picture disappeared. Okay. So the food content came when that, and I said I can't mix fashion and food in one page, so let me create a whole separate page for it. But the other content was actually an accident. I didn't mean to become an influencer.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
an accident. I
No,
actually posted something. It was supposed to be a private video. It accidentally was posted public, and then it was a Ruafsa video. So it was accidentally posted public. 2 days later, I checked. Wait, 3 million views. Wait, what? Then I went to my parents. I'm like, hey, so I accidentally posted something, and then it just
and thus it began. Mashallah, that's
one
amazing.
viral video. That's it. Just one video.
One video. As it was a Ruafza video, was it in Ramadan?
It was in Ramadan. In
I
COVID.
will say the barakah of Ramadan. Mashallah. Right. So awesome. So that's how you became an influencer. And how did you? What nutritionist is not a common career path for many Pakistani and South Asian. Well, South Asian girls maybe, but Pakistani not so much. How did you get into nutrition, and what attracted you towards this career path specifically?
It was actually personally. So I was extremely overweight. This was back in, I believe, 2018 or so. I was about 46, 50 pounds overweight, which I know people, if that's not technically obese, but it was on the very overweight side. And when I lost that weight myself, I said, wait, I think that this is so, and I wanted to share it with people how to do it in a healthy way. Because there are some people that I've seen and some things that people do that are not very healthy, but they lose it anyway, but they don't understand the long term effect. So it's not like a simple a magic pill. Like you need to keep up with it for your whole life, fortunately and unfortunately.
Fortunately, unfortunately. And certainly, I think Ramadan presents a great opportunity, but with the pakoras and the samosas and the dahi badas and
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely, I think it's not only a lifestyle change. Sometimes it's a mindset change. You have to
Mhm.
kind of switch the gears, right?
I always say it's a lifestyle. Like you can diet or keto or something for a month and do a fasting and get into a wedding dress or whatever it is that you need to get into. But when you go back to what it is, your regular style, it's going to be up and down again. So unless you change your mindset and you're like, okay, let's try to find a way where everything can be happy. My taste buds can be happy. My stomach can be happy. My mind can be happy. Then that way I feel like your life will be happier that way. Because food is a I mean, they always say serotonin starts in the gut. So if you're eating like crap all the time, you might make your taste bud or that part in the brain happy, but not for how long?
How long now? That's a very good point. Yeah, we that you made that serotonin starts in the gut. So, and that's why a lot of people tend to eat for based on their mood, even.
Yeah, like some people tend to, if they're going through something, they overeat, and some people they don't eat. It depends on the person. They think overeating might help someone, and someone is like, "Wait, I'm going through this stressful period. I can't stomach anything." So it really does start in the gut, the serotonin, and for whoever doesn't know, it's the happy hormone.
Exactly. So what do we say of those people that say the way to make a man happy is through his stomach? Like
What makes anybody happy is
the
man,
way to
woman.
make anybody happy is through his stomach. There you go.
Actually, I know that when it's been like that a lot when people are hosting. People love to make something and take to their house, and that's a form of, food, that's a food that you take to someone's house, and hosting is mostly women anyways.
Very valid. I think a lot of times I'll make some stuff that for hosting or to take to people's houses that I personally would not put in that much effort for myself, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just
I
the,
love when people, yeah, when they bake something and give it to you, you're like, wait, you spent all this time, you made something, you put it in the oven, you kneaded it, and then you gave it to me. Wow, like that's one of the best gifts.
yeah, truly awesome. Okay, so now to kind of specifically get into Ramadan. Now, I don't find not eating or eating less or having 10 or 11 hours fast very difficult because I'm a firm believer in intermittent fasting. I've been doing it for several years now. But in your personal opinion, do you think intermittent fasting is compared to Ramadan and fasting physiologically? Does fasting in Ramadan slow down metabolism specifically more so? And why do some people gain weight in Ramadan? Because intermittent fasting is an excellent tool to like not only lose weight but also maintain weight. Why do people then gain weight in Ramadan if they're doing similar thing?
It's so funny. A non-Muslim really asked me this question the other day, and about the intermittent fasting, saying how is it different and how is it similar. I'm like, so obviously the key similarity, and intermittent fasting can actually be longer because she was telling me she fasts for 16 to 18 hours. I think our rosa right now is about 12-ish, 12
Yeah,
to 14
about
hours or so. So intermittent fasting, some people go even longer than that. But the key difference is they drink things. They drink water, they drink black coffee, fluids, and not anything. Obviously, they don't drink sugary drinks, but there's still water is a big thing. If you can drink water, the not even water type of thing, it still keeps you alive and going a little bit. But that's the biggest key difference. It can have the same effect, but when people are intermittent fasting with the mindset of that, they don't have the types of meal that we have at iftar. They break it in a kind of more relaxed way rather than doing the pakora and samosa and everything.
rather
And
than stuffing within an hour. Oh, gotta get to Trabi or gotta do that. There's that 30 minute when not even 30 minutes, 15 minutes between I think when the fast opens and then you're gonna do Maghrib namaz and literally people like blah blah blah.
yeah,
They're gobbling. Because I think the entire day you're not eating. So and you're literally like fantasizing about how
about
you will open
food.
your fast that day.
People are watching mukbangs, they're thinking about what they're gonna eat. But that's why the metabolism thing, it doesn't slow like it should, but it doesn't, just because, and if it does temporarily, because after, it's again, like I was saying, it's 1 month thing, what I was talking about before, the diet and whatever you do, but as soon as you go back to your regular habits, it's going to crash down again. So it actually, metabolism doesn't do that for some people just because of the way we eat. But if we had eaten properly, if we do it properly, then people will actually see that they're losing weight in Ramadan. But a lot of people do end up gaining weight because of the types of food we eat.
Exactly. So, and what about for those of us that are not necessarily like eating too much, but eating too less, and we find ourselves losing too much weight? Like, how do we preserve muscle mass while fasting, especially because we're not able to often exercise? I mean, I know you are an amazing, like you, I know do go to the gym and you try to put in that workout, but not everybody can do that. Do you
Yeah,
do A, B, C, or D? So, how do we preserve, our muscle mass, and what kind of exercise do you recommend for those of us that just due to family work etc I
yeah.
just are lacking the energy? And is it also just like tell us, is it better to work
Yeah.
out before or after? What, go
That's
ahead.
a really big question, but first I'll answer about the muscle mass. Basically, muscle mass is preserved when you work to preserve it, just because it's something that can easily be gained and lost. Like, and obviously we all hear the word protein, protein, protein. That's the thing that keeps or takes away the muscle mass. And this month, obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been going to the gym every day. I don't want to do take a big toll on my body, but I also want to get some movement in. And something with protein, which before I'll talk about exercise, you should, I'm not going to give you the math calculation because that's too much, but you should be eating just half your body weight and do a little bit under that, and you should be eating that much protein. Like example, fine, I'll just say here I'm 120 pounds, and so the half of that, whatever, I should be trying to get about 50 grams of protein a day, and I've been trying that. But obviously it is difficult in Ramadan, but there's so many other things you can try, and this is the month for where we'll get back to supplements later, but this is the month where I actually do try to take supplements, just because we're not getting enough of eating, because I do end up under eating in Ramadan, unlike I don't overeat as well. But the exercises, personally, since I don't, want to stress myself, go to the gym every single day, I do home workouts. I ordered from Amazon the weighted ankles and the ankle weights, and then the ones you put on your arms. I put on a 30-minute Pilates workout on YouTube. My family looks at me like I'm crazy. I'm in the living room and I have the yoga mat and I'm doing that, because you still feel energy. That's the type of workout in while fasting you'll feel energized with. Unlike where I did go to a couple times, but my workouts at the gym are intense, would sit in the sauna and everything. And I'm dehydrated. So
Hmm.
that type of workout will end up making us feel a little obviously dehydrated, but the type of workout that I feel like what best works for my body type, since I'm again like a little under eater, is the type of YouTube workout. And I really recommend that. I did that a lot in COVID when the gyms were closed, and my New Jersey weather is not enough for walking right now. So I really do recommend those types of workouts at home. And as for working out before and after iftar, it really depends on your goal. So if, for example, if you're trying to lose weight or maintain, right before iftar is the best window. But I know if you're doing iftar at home and you have to prep for it, that's not the ideal time. So maybe like, because you have to keep that in mind too. I know people say, oh, go right before iftar. Okay, well, who's going to make the food at home? So you can't do right before. Do it at a time where you can come back and still do something, but not in the morning. Right after Fajr sounds essentially nice, but then the whole day, if you have things going on, it's not something that you can keep up with. It's admirable if someone can do that, but I'm just giving it for the general human population, not someone who's like really active. But if you want to keep muscle mass, then it's after iftar time, because then you have the energy and you're like, you can eat, you eat properly. My brother does this because he's trying to gain muscle this Ramadan. He eats very little just to keep him going. He goes, works out, lifts, whatever he does, and then he comes back and eats his proper meal. So that's good for someone who wants to build muscle. Where areas, if you're like me and you want just maintain tone, the little cute workout with the ankle weights and whatnot, that keeps me toned this month.
Amazing. So what would you recommend in terms of time duration? So you said, yeah, like it would be better to do like after iftar so you have energy, but like in terms of time, because again, in Ramadan, our time is already so constrained, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this Ramadan was probably the shortest Ramadan I've ever
Not
experienced in my
quite like
lifetime.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a Ramadan such as this one, and it should have really been longer because our nights were longer, but subhanAllah, I mean, something to say about the times, I think. But essentially, I find myself not having time to even do it even after iftar, like between Maghrib and then Tarawih, and then
Yeah, yeah.
Fajr is like whatever 3 hours or 4 hours later. Like,
Like
how much of a time can I give it so that the rest of my day I'm able to function as well?
Like, are you yeah, sorry, just to clarify, you're asking if how much time we should give the physical work,
Yeah, like how
or
much time would you recommend where it's actually going to be
helpful and beneficial, but
helpful?
also
Yeah, exactly. Where I'm
40,
not delulu,
30,
not being delulu that I worked out
yeah,
today.
yeah, 30 to 40 minutes, because I know on a regular day when it's not Ramadan and I work out at the gym and I try to get 10K steps or whatever, 1.5 hour. But I know I can't, I know my body, and everyone should know, like, you shouldn't just use this month and say, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym for 2 hours if you don't even go regularly for 30 minutes. So you know your body. But me personally, what I would say that is, because I know myself, I do the 30-40 minute workout, and I try to increase it a little bit during the month. Like in the beginning of the month, I did a 20 minute. I know that's embarrassing. I was like, 20-minute workout, let me get into it.
Not
20
embarrassing.
minute, and then I increased it to 30, and then now like the 40 minutes. So I'm trying to increase it that way. And there's so many on YouTube like that. But also someone like my brother, he goes for 40 minutes. So he's barely doing cardio because he wants to do the like lifting. He's not trying to lose weight. So it's nice to see in one house how both how different we're both trying to keep up with our weight. And our family does look at us like they're crazy because they don't they don't they're like, they just eat and they're like done with it. But
Yep.
little things I know that will sound a little strange, but help me a lot. Let's say I'm going to the grocery store or something. We still, obviously, we have to do groceries in Ramadan. It's a little thing, but it helps a lot. I park the furthest. Like, I park the car really far just to get a little walk in. Because imagine you're just, I don't, go and work a 9 to 5 or anything. So I don't know, if I have to leave the house, I do that. Like, I park really far. I do things like that. I take the longer walks home, and obviously, it's still nice enough to walk outside. I have been walking for the last week, so little things like that, just to get some movement in, because you need to get the blood flowing a little bit, no matter how hardcore or light core. I don't even know if that's a word. It is.
That's I mean I kind of understand why your family would be like what, because I think for some people their definition of a workout in Ramadan is picking up the pakora and putting it to their mouth and dipping in the tongue. Or oh no, I will not name names, but I was actually at an event last weekend, and the rush to the table.
I
I felt like I was is it a UFC fighter? They say I and then the amazing people who were and they're just like squeezing and I'm like, oh my lordy, I was like, so
I've
that's,
had
you know,
much
for some
I've
people
had
that's the workout.
I've had iftar. I've had iftar at the masjid a couple times because I volunteer and help there. And at the masjid, you'd be surprised. You're praying, your three fires and whatnot, and these people don't even wait till the salam is finished and they run. And I'm like, I feel like maybe in a past couple years, that period of time I was talking about where I was a little overweight, whatever, I would have probably been that person. So I'm not gonna like shame that person. I would have been, but now I'm like, I pray the two for two, so not two enough. I'm like, let your body like get ready for this.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think, and the what people don't realize, and I'm not a nutritionist, but it's just like based on pure observation. When you eat that fast, you're gonna end up with heartburn. You're gonna
Yeah,
end up with all the tummy aches and everything. Oh, when people and I'm like, they'll have like a plate full of mountain of food, and they're like, oh, they have a stomach ache now, and I'm like,
and they're like, oh, I'm in a food coma.
exactly. So I don't know, but I think again that's why Ramadan comes, right? That we're not only addressing our iman, we're also addressing the way we live, our lifestyles. And honestly, it's a great opportunity to address all of the qualms and the issues that we deal on a daily basis. And we have not only an excuse, but an incentive, frankly
Mhm.
speaking, to try to approach that in a better way.
Yeah, you notice
Um,
all your habits and especially eating habits this month.
Exactly. Now, in terms of you talked about hydration a little bit. You how can one maintain our hydration? I know the biggest thing I feel in Ramadan is dehydration, and I actually start fasting a couple of weekends before on Monday and Thursday to prepare myself for the lack of water that I'm going to have in Ramadan. So, how can one better one's hydration in Ramadan?
The biggest I do this on a regular basis too, because I think that I got into the good, and that's what I'm trying to help people with, good thing, that using Ramadan in our daily lives, like implementing things that we learned from this month. But electrolytes is a big one that I especially this month, I don't go a day without drinking it, maybe even twice a day. And I'm not just talking, it doesn't have to be just the fake packets if you don't want to, drink the packets, but they're very good too. I drink them personally, but there's so many other things, like if you feel like lassi, like salted lassi, that's a really good form of electrolytes that my parents drink for suhoor. And then there's coconut water. You can add Celtic salt, and I know people say, but salt makes you thirsty. Yes, it does, but when you add a pinch of salt in water, then it actually helps your body absorb the rest of the water better, and it makes you pee less. So when you have to do this, otherwise, if you're just drinking water and chugging water, it's just gonna all come out in the next like 2 hours, and you'll be dehydrated for the rest of the day. Whereas if you drink 1 cup of water that has electrolytes in it, you'll be better set than drinking 2 gallons of water with nothing else in it. Because then you're just gonna end up flushing it out. It's not gonna help you. You're gonna end up feeling more dehydrated. But in suhoor time, I recommend at least 2 cups, and the rest of your water should be kind of distributed between iftar time and tarawih if you're going anywhere.
Exactly. The other day I saw this kind of hack that take chia seeds, put it in water in like a 3 liter water bottle, and then put a pinch of Himalayan salt and
Lemon.
lemon. Squeeze the
Yeah,
lemon
yeah.
and then throw the lemon peels in there as well. So what do you think of something like that? Like, and it was very not only refreshing, but it was, and I noticed ever since I started drinking that actually helped my hydration a
Helps
lot
you.
too.
And it's very good for weight maintenance and loss. I don't do that because I eat my chia seeds in the morning. So then I
How do
don't.
you eat them? Like, you eat them dry or what?
No, I soak them at night. That's my sahari. Like every morning, I soak them in milk, and then in the morning, it's chia pudding, and I just top it with berries and stuff. So I eat my chia seeds. I like eating them better than drinking them. I'm also a texture person, so I don't like it in fluid, but it's very good for you actually that way, and it's a really good weight loss thing as well. So if you're trying to lose weight, maintain weight, the chia seeds are very good for that, and also helps. I know, like constipation and things that we go through in Ramadan, like our stomach issues, it helps that as well. So chia seeds should be a good thing to get in. I mean, I got a big pack from Costco because we've been using them every month, every day in the morning with the chia pudding I've been talking about. But you've been drinking it like that?
I have been drinking it like that. I don't mind drinking it actually, even before like when I'm sorry, I was checking the questions. Even before Ramadan started, like I'm like you, I like chia seeds. I'm one of those interesting people who eats them on a daily basis. I think not just for hydration, I think it's a very good way to, as
Good.
you said, maintain weight and even lose
Yeah,
weight because they fill you up essentially,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They fill you up,
So
and I find that they sorry. I find that they fill me up better than oats. I know, like, I really did this Ramadan, I've become an oats person after years of trying to become an oatmeal person, but I find if you mix chia seeds with it, then I like anything.
awesome. And you spoke about that you take chia seeds. Again, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go a little bit. I want to know what's on Rimsha Azhar's. I know what she's doing for Sehri. What are you doing for iftari? How are you? Are you eating the pakoras and the samosas and the going to Yemeni chai? or
Never.
and if you are, how are you avoiding the iftar crash? Because I know anytime I'm at a iftar and that's the only options I have to break my fast, I feel a sudden wave of just sleep, and I
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
like force myself to wake up and just
yeah.
deal with it. So how do you combat the
So
this?
yeah, yeah. So half of Ramadan is iftar parties and you're meeting people, and that's also the beauty of it, right? Community, you're seeing people every day. And I I even like being a nutritionist and stuff, I don't even like being that person that goes somewhere. I was like, no, no, I can't eat this. Like, I can't, like, I don't like, because then the other person's eating it. You also don't want them to feel bad for eating something, right? Because food is a sensitive topic, obviously, for some people. So you also don't want that. And you want to enjoy with people. But what I do is, okay, this is the routine that I think that people should follow. You eat a date, and I eat the medjool ones, so they're pretty big. And obviously, it takes a second. You eat it, you drink water, take 5-10 minutes to pray, and that way the date kind of it's like instant glucose, obviously, right? So it digests in your body, gives you a minute to prepare your stomach to eat the food that you're about to eat. And then when you go and make your plate, my thing is, I'm not going to tell you, okay, don't eat too much. Don't eat the pakora samosa. Don't not eat it, right? I'm not gonna say don't not eat, but my thing is you should add things to it. Like example, if you're having the pakora and samosa or whatever, add the fruit and the salad that's at the side as well. Add something that has like if there's pulao or something, add that chicken rice in there. So add things so that, and then when you eat that, when you start eating the protein veggies, then the things in your plate after the pakora and whatever, you'll find by the end, oh wait, I don't even think I'm that hungry anymore. I don't think I can stomach this anymore, because you had started with the protein, which is, it could be, I'm using desi kane because obviously,
That's perfectly fine. Most of our
what,
audience is desi, so please, by all means,
yeah,
use
so
desi.
imagine it's like pulao or biryani or whatever, which honestly is fine in these days. It's rice, chicken, whatnot. So you start with that, then you had some fruit chaat or something, and then there's the pakora in your plate, right? By the time you reach the end, it's okay that you had one or two, but then at least you didn't start off with it and had like 50 of them at once. Because when you start off with it, you will find that you're eating more, and then you don't won't by the time you get to the end, you didn't have any nutritious food in you anyway. You had food, but nothing nutritious actually went into your body. And then yes, I do the Yemeni coffee. I like it after. I like it after I mean, I know we're gonna get to the caffeine stuff later, but I like it after iftar.
Awesome. No, by all means, trust me, we all like it after as well. Um, I agree with you, especially like the other day, actually yesterday itself. I had to go to an iftar party, but I ran late at work. So at work, I had a date. I didn't have time to actually get to the iftar party. So while I was leaving work, our fast broke. So I had a date. I prayed namaz, and then I left for the iftar party. It took me about 40 minutes to get there. I kid you not, I got there. My hunger was
Yeah,
gone. Yeah,
yeah,
it was, and this was after all I had for sehri was because the night before we had a heavy sehri at my brother's place. So I literally all I had for sehri was that lemon water that I told you.
yeah, yeah.
I was starving the whole day, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna pass. But literally, I was fine because my
Because
body stabilized due to the date, right?
yeah, the prophet, he would literally open his sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would open his fast with 3 dates, and he would go pray, and he didn't even think about food and stuff. Like, he would obviously spend the night praying and stuff. I mean, I know we can't even get to that level of worship and whatnot, because obviously even when you're eating in Ramadan, it's technically a form of worship, because you're following some sort of guidelines. That you're eating in the morning, you're eating in the evening, but he would do it that way. So I noticed when because I like that date. I mean, I eat dates not even in Ramadan too. Every day I eat a date, but not in Ramadan. I have it coated in chocolate and I put it in the freezer. It tastes like a Snickers bar. But in Ramadan, I'm like, let me avoid the chocolate right now. I'm just opening it up. So I eat it, and I notice that the hunger dies almost right away. You drink some water, you take a date, and the
Hmm.
hunger dies for a bit. And obviously you get hungry a little bit later, but that little bit later, you're not gonna eat as fast as you would when you're eating it right away. Really
Exactly.
kind of aram say it's a little bit, you'll be like, with hosla.
With hustle, exactly, with
Yeah.
patience, you guys. And
Yeah.
with that, I'm gonna give a little hustle to everybody while I say yes. You've heard it here first, guys. Rimsha Azhar has a date every night. I'm sorry, I had to. I
I
remember
didn't even see that
Mazak.
coming. That was funny.
This leads us to our thing. Log kya kahenge wala line. जो हम लेके जाते हैं, नहीं, नहीं, अल्लाह माफ करे. No, I agree. No,
That was funny.
definitely that. Subhanallah, if we actually do, there is something called a prophetic diet. Actually,
Yeah. I did this was at the same non-Muslims that I was talking about. I actually did an event the other day at the masjid. It was a sunnah table, and I did all the prophetic foods, and I actually have a whole document on it as well. Maybe we could do that next time. But
no, that's a great idea.
prophetic
Yeah.
food diet, if you look into it and everything, you would see all that food as kind of the Middle Eastern diet nowadays that you would think about, which is ranked the number one diet in the world, because it's not technically like a hardcore keto diet. It's just a lifestyle. It's just eating clean, basically. It's eating less processed and more nutrient dense foods, which is what I'm saying. I don't say don't eat the pakora samosa, because you want to feel included when you're at an iftar and you're eating with everybody. But just add things onto it, then you'll see how much less you want that fried item at the end. Because that's the worst part. The rice is fine. The worst part is eating the fried food right away. Because, oh, another thing, when you aren't eating the whole day, your body's not obviously used to it, right? So it feels like it's starving itself. So it starts storing things as fat, because it's thinking, oh, is she going to eat tomorrow? Am I starving? Is the body going to get any food? Let me store this as fat so I can release it during the day so this girl has energy. But then it's releasing pakora.
Oh gosh, I'm not gonna say the joke that just came to my mind after I heard that part.
Oh, no. You could tell me after.
Only after. No, but exactly. So people are eating all of these high, carb, high sugar stuff, and essentially, it's making them lethargic, and it's also causing poor sleep patterns. And actually, you suggested, one of our viewers actually asked this question. You recommended exercising at night, and so let's address this question: the high sugar during the iftar, like how it can affect our sleep, and also in like kind of opposite to that, your recommendation of exercising in the evening, like, and getting those endorphins out. Isn't that going to make us less sleepy when we're trying to get our 3 hours in before
Yeah.
suhoor?
No, if you actually look at it and you have a really nice workout and things, even if it's not hardcore or anything, you're doing something light, if you're walking, you will actually sleep better on days that you work out. Actually, no matter even the time, if you're talking about morning, evening, but obviously evening, you come, you work out, maybe take a shower, that'll be the best sleep of your life, actually, because your body released all these, what you mentioned, endorphins and whatnot. And sorry, you asked another question, it slipped my mind.
The question about high sugar, like when we're eating the high
Oh,
sugar intake, like please tell our audience how it affects their sleep. And they always
that
talk about, I'm not
was,
getting enough sleep, I'm not getting enough sleep, but
yeah,
then
yeah.
so
Sugar. I know this is the month for cookie butter, tres leches, and all these ras malai
but that's what
desserts.
tastes good with Yemeni coffee, Nay.
It does. I actually haven't had the dessert, but I've had it in coffee version. But for people like who are caffeine drinkers and whatnot, it might not affect them that much anymore. But sugar is something that personally, caffeine does not affect me that much, but sugar will keep me up. Just because sugar has that element in you that will keep you hyper and up. And if you're eating stuff like this after, which is why I say if you're eating something sweet, like I said, I'm not going to tell you, you're in a community, don't eat it, don't take a bite. Obviously, portion control. But if you eat it, make sure it's around like iftar time and not really late night. Like don't come back from Tarawih and eat it, because then you're gonna have trouble sleeping when you eat something sugary right away. And also at Sari time, it's not a good time to eat it if you're planning on sleeping right away after. So eat the dessert, but eat it at a time that's like iftar time and you're going somewhere, and not late night, because that will affect your sleep. But as for exercise, no. That will get you better sleep actually when you exercise at night.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, in terms of speaking on the topic of sleep, I feel like because of my lack of sleep, especially at work, I find myself having brain fog. Here I am with my brain frog again. So, and then like when I'm trying to, like if I'm trying to answer an email or, make whatever, do some sort of finance reconciliation, whatever, I'll have severe brain fog.
Mhm.
Is there anything that I can eat or drink or something? What would you recommend to what I should do to combat that brain fog,
Mhm.
especially like 6-7 hours after suhoor?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people have this, and the reason behind that is basically your brain's getting less, which is the main source of this like brain fog, brain energy is the blood glucose. So obviously this month there's low blood glucose. And first of all, is like being aware of that. Obviously, okay, wait, why am I having this? Maybe I didn't eat at suhoor. A lot of people I've been hearing, I mean, I heard you say that too, right? You just had chia seed water. A lot of people skip suhoor. They're like, oh, I just woke up, I just drank a little water, and then I prayed and went to sleep.
Yeah.
Like they don't eat anything at that time. And we have two times to properly eat. And I know after iftar we say, oh, we're gonna go home and eat this, you never really end up eating that much anyway because of everything you ate at iftar. So you're technically only have one main meal and the suhoor meal. People don't count suhoor as a meal, but I think in Ramadan you have two meals. But people say, oh, we only have like one meal, because they don't count it. So optimizing suhoor is a really big thing for having less to no brain fog. Obviously, I'm not going to say no brain fog because it's still, a different schedule, but less brain fog. And eating obviously nutrient dense foods, things that will help the brain fog, things like nuts. So I don't eat nuts like that, but something like nut butter, like peanut butter, almond butter, I just put it in things. It's just one spoon that you need to kind of make you more energetic. Yogurt, eggs, dal, uh, avocado, coconut water is a big thing in this month. I do highly recommend it. I mean, it's the number one sports drink for a reason. So things that will help you lessen the brain fog, and knowing which times to eat it. So, if I'm saying yogurt, eggs, I'll say that in the morning. If I'm saying dal, that's in the evening. Coconut water, evening or in the morning. You can do the same mixture that you said. If you add like coconut water, chia seeds, and everything, it'll be like the max sports drink, because it'll be
Wow.
electrolytes
Okay.
times 100.
Awesome. Okay, I'm definitely going to try that for sure. And now just kind of addressing something that is specifically, especially people, not everybody can eat everything, not everybody can drink everything. So in terms of people that are, for example, not exactly their optimum fitness level due to diabetes or any sort of issue, how can people with diabetes fast? Can they fast? I know we have an allowance. I mean, subhanallah, we have this allowance in our deen that where if you cannot fast for whatever reason, you can actually give fidya, or you can have somebody else fast for you, etc. in Pakistan. But if you say you want to fast nonetheless, because you feel like, as you said, it's a month of like setting good habits, but I feel like it's a month of discipline as well. I think what is Ramadan teaches me, along with the brain fog, I have these bouts of clarity, of like just realization and self-reflection, right? So teaching me discipline. I'm sorry, I'm going off topic, but it was like anybody who is sick due to any ailment, how would they fast?
Food, yeah. So diabetes, like, okay, so when I did some research on this last year, because no, not last year, 2 years ago, because I was actually working in a nutrition office and there was diabetic patients over there, and over there, but they weren't Muslim, but I just was curious, so I did a lot of research on this, and obviously like in school and whatnot. So with diabetes, it's not, if you ask a doctor, and if especially if they're taking insulin, they do not recommend you fasting even at all. But I know some people personally that have it and they're Muslim and they're trying to fast and they want to, because obviously what you're saying, what we just said, they don't want to miss out on the month. The main thing is obviously you have to ask a doctor and you have to monitor consistently. If you're monitoring like your blood glucose, sugar, whatnot, once a day, increase it to 3 times a day, increase it. And if you're not, and the same thing for elderly. Like I know my nanny, she's like, no, I'm gonna fast. I'm like, but you really can't, you really shouldn't. But she wants to fast. But before then, if she has gotten to the point where if she feels like she can't do it, she'll skip it. But she tries to fast as much as she can in the month. So I understand doing that, but I also say, this is not to sound harsh or anything, but I also say that the sixth pillar of Islam is not misery. So if Allah has given us
that. Love that.
like, not to sound harsh at all, I just like to say
no, that's
yeah,
zulm is a thing. Like you're not supposed to do zulm on yourself. Exactly.
because if Allah has given you the I can't tell the word or the right word for it. Like he's given you the opportunity, if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, elderly, diabetic, medical condition, and he's saying you don't have to fast, then I think it's even a form of worship that you're listening to him and you're not doing that, and you can do other things, right? Like you said, you can feed a hungry, there's so many things you can do. Maybe you can cook for someone who's fasting and some still try to feel included in a certain way. Because yeah, the sixth pillar of Islam is not misery.
Again, you guys, you heard it here first. This is Rimsha's statement. Do not take it, but I'm definitely going to use that. The sixth pillar of Islam is not misery.
Things like that, like
sixth pillar of Islam is not misery, Mom. I cannot do the dishes tonight.
I would use that. Like things like travel prayer is short, right? But then some people I know, they're like, no, we have time, so we're going to pray the whole thing. But he has literally commanded you to pray it short because you're traveling. So I think going against it, if obviously you have it in you and you know your body and you can do it, then go for it, do it. But if you're like, maybe I won't feel good, maybe I'll get a little tired, then I think if it's even the maybe and you feel like you'll feel worse, then you shouldn't fast and you can do other things, like, feed a person. I didn't even know that you mentioned you can have someone fast for you. I didn't know
they
that.
do. Yeah, I remember my nanny used to do that. She used to, because
Yeah.
she had high blood pressure and she had diabetes on top of it. So I remember she used to like have somebody fast for her. Like, and that basically means that she's paying for her, her food, her drink, like even getting her eat clothes and stuff like that. Like really making it easy for her, especially because unfortunately there are a lot of people out there that can't even do suhoor or iftar in the manner that we think, in an even regular way actually. So yeah, it's a form of charity, but at the same time it's a form of you can
I didn't know that. Oh my god. Okay.
But it has to be somebody who's not able to do that. It can't be just like, okay, my daughter's on behalf of me. No, it's
No.
it's not
She
like
was
that.
my teacher, so she's always teaching me something new every day, guys.
You're so sweet. All right, now you talked about supplements. I want you to tell us what kind of supplements could be helpful, but not, but are like, I'm sorry, I just said it the other way. What supplements do you recommend in Ramadan? And when should I take them? That's one thing I struggle with even on a regular basis when it's not Ramadan. So I'm sorry, you guys, I'm making this a little bit about me. But
no, I mean,
I don't like taking
help from
I don't like taking supplements in the morning because I feel like they make me feel hungry throughout the day and they make me like a little bit nauseous. Then I feel like I need to eat to compensate for the nausea. So what do you recommend? Which supplements should we be taking, especially in Ramadan? And when should we be taking this? Because we can't, it's fast
Yeah,
food.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like I'm the more like holistic approach type just because like Chinese medicine, if you look at my tea cabinet, there's a tea for everything. Pimple tea, blood pressure tea, menopause tea for everybody that is in my family. I have a tea for everything. So I feel like since I go that route, I take lesser supplements, right? And I find that better just because I don't know unless it's FDA approved, right? Which is the Food Drug Administration. So if it's not approved by that, I don't like taking it just because you don't know which third party source is making it. But a supplement that and this does count as a supplement that I take during Ramadan and think that people should take, as you know, we talked about protein, the protein powder, because that's technically a supplement. You're taking it. We are not getting enough. A lot of people are not getting enough protein in Ramadan. So something like, you know how I was saying I put chia seeds, oats, and milk in the morning. I put a scoop of protein powder in that because it itself doesn't have that much in it, but when you put a scoop of it, that's like 30-40 grams depending on which powder you're using. And remember, I said that I should be getting about 50 grams. So that's most of my protein done in one jar. So something like that I recommend. And I recommend it in the morning because if you try to take, people who are like gym builders, muscle bros, or whatever, like my brother, if you do end up taking it at iftar time or after, it's good if you're working out, but if you're not and you're just taking it like that, you might get that nauseous feeling and that heavy feeling that you're saying and not be able to eat anything for a bit and then end up overeating later when it fully digests.
Mhm.
But other supplements that, you know, if you're talking about like multivitamins and stuff, it's honestly not really necessary if you try to keep in touch with the rest. Because again, it is just 1 month. And if you're really, the only way you would really need it is if you're eating like nothing at all. Like I'm talking veganism, nothing. If you're eating nothing at all, that's the only way because they need a lot of pills, right? They need iron, vitamin D, and everything. But everyone is a little low on vitamin D. So I honestly think everyone should be taking um, the vitamin D pill 2000 milligram once a week anyway. I mean, I have a timer on it for my phone because you're not getting enough sun right now. People are not getting out. So something like that you should be taking just because when you're fasting, this is the funny thing. Vitamin D affects your bones, right? So
Mhm.
I was hearing when I was praying Tarawih, I'm like, my bone is cracking everywhere, my knee and everything. I said, I should take my pill. So things like that. And then not in Ramadan though, if you're talking about like supplements like pre-workout or creatine and what times to take that. Obviously pre-workout is pre-workout. But if you're saying like when should I take a protein drink, I recommend it after just because I feel like you and I are the same. Our stomach, if we take it before and we work out, our stomach's gonna be a little strange. But people who need it should actually take have you seen those running gels? um it's literally just a form of glucose. It's in my bag somewhere. It's in a packet and it's a gel that you kind of slurp up.
Like Shilajit?
Actually kind of like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Actually pretty helpful because the gel, if you're not into if you can handle the consistency of a gel,
Hmm.
it's just one simple thing and it's instant glucose just transferred into your body. So that is a supplement as well. So something like that can be, but people say if you want a natural form of it, just do honey with a little on top of ginger with a little salt on top.
Hmm.
I like that too. So it really depends on what you're trying to do with your body, but I recommend that stuff not in Ramadan. But in Ramadan, I don't really think anybody should be taking all these like pre-workouts and whatnot unless you're staying up the whole night for other purposes. Because then you won't get body already doesn't have enough in you, and when you take pre-workout, that's gonna be like one of the main things in it, and you're gonna be up the whole night. Unless that's your purpose that you want to be up the whole night. But people have work, and you know I know it's hard for someone like you. Also, you work and getting up and going to work and coming back. You can't stay up the whole night realistically unless it's the weekend.
Yeah, but we still try nonetheless, right? I think right now my average on a daily basis of sleep is 3 hours just because of everything that's happening. I
Oh,
know it's so
yeah.
bad. I'm like literally, I was thinking the other day, I was like, I need a vacation, but I just came back from vacation. But no, I need another vacation. It's
I
like,
think your vacation is you need 12 hours of sleep.
just to sleep. I sometimes think maybe a good vacation would be just one of my friends actually said this to me one time. I was like, and she has little kids. So she was like, you know what? I just want to leave the kids with their dad and just go get a hotel room and
And
just sleep
sleep.
and just
Oh,
sleep.
that sounds so good, and I don't have kids.
Oh no, yeah. So like, yeah, that's a thing, right? So in general, I think like we should be taking our care ourselves, I think, throughout the year. But in Ramadan, I think a lot of our health issues show up because of we're not taking care of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of we talked about vitamin D and not getting enough sun and just trying to be careful with protein. I want to kind of know what, like, again, I'm coming back to the question that everybody wants to know. What does Rimsha Azhar's plate look like in terms of, like, if I had a plate? One time somebody, like, and this was actually the game changer for me when I started trying to lose, weight. Like, make sure that about whatever 75% of your plate, or at least close to 65% of your plate, is vegetables, and the rest can be whatever, and
Mhm.
you're pretty much eating healthy. So
Mhm.
what does your plate look like? Like, in terms
Right.
of iftar, or even on a regular day, what does your plate look like?
It's not, honestly, I think alhamdulillah I finally got to the point where it's not too different in Ramadan than their daily, but obviously that's not counting if you're going you have an iftar dawat or you're going somewhere, it doesn't count, but I'm talking just a regular iftar at home. It hasn't been that different than what I normally eat, and I'm really glad that I trained myself that way. But a regular plate, what you said, veggies, when I was trying to lose weight, what I did was what you said, 75% veggies, because that's called volume eating, high volume eating, right? Basically what that means is you're eating a lot of things that have high volume, and it's filling you up quicker. And it might be something like lettuce or veggies or peppers and whatnot, and you're filling your body up with that. Then at the end, like, you can have like a potato or something, and that'll be your happy food and um fill you up actually. But when you eat a volume eating like that, but my plate, what it looks like, I try to have 40-ish% something protein wise, and that doesn't mean it has to be meat every single time. It can be like, I know dal, it doesn't have a significant amount of protein, but better than other things, right? So something like, I really like dal, by the way.
No, even me. I also.
Okay. So because sometimes I feel like I'm a girl, that girl dinner that people say, I can't eat meat all the time. Like, it's just not me. I can't the whole day. Like, every meal, getting meat in is kind of hard for me. So something that has some sort of protein in it in one side, and I get a lot of alternative things. Like if I'm eating a tortilla, I get one that has protein in it. If I'm eating bread, like it sourdough with protein in it. So I try to get things like that so I can get it in without me knowing. And then I have, like, obviously I'm a big veggies person. I think the only problem I have is eating fruit. So I try to juice it and drink it because I still want to get fruit in, but I just can't sit and eat fruit like that. I don't know what it is. But veggies, and then I have some sort of fats, like either it could be veggies cooked in avocado oil, or have an avocado there, or like I'm a really big what I was saying, nuts are really good for you, like a handful of nuts every day, but I also can't eat them, so I try to get, nut butters, and they're really good, by the way. I mean, we also have to understand not to get Skippy or those main peanut butter brands that have seed oils and sugar and 15 ingredients. That's the biggest thing. I think people here don't read the back. If you read the back, peanut butter should realistically only have peanuts in it, and maybe some like sunflower oil or something. Even some even don't have oil. You
Mhm.
literally just blend peanuts. So you have to look at everything that you're reading in the back. But yeah, my plate looks like that. And I'm a big sweet treat person too. So at the end, not in Ramadan, what I do is, in a date, I put peanut butter in, and I dip it in chocolate, and I put a little salt, and I freeze it, right? So then I eat it at night. Every night I have that date, right? I eat at night, and I kid you not, like, my family said this too, and they don't have the same taste buds as me. They're not nutritionists, so they said it tastes like a Snickers bar.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
yeah, so you're that way, you're getting dates in every day as well, not in Ramadan. And it's that sweet treat that I need, because I feel like after every meal, I'm like, okay, so what should I have that's something sweet now? And it's a bite of something. Like, um, I make cookies in Ramadan or something like that. And I really think that when you make your own things, you kind of know what's going in there. And that way there's not all these like added things that you see when you buy things from outside. Like, let's say you buy Chips Ahoy. If you look at the back, you said, why does this have color dye in it? Like,
Exactly.
why do the cookies, well, when you make it
Exactly.
yourself, you're like, oh, okay. So it is sugary, but it's just sugar and flour and uh chocolate chips.
Exactly.
It's okay.
I mean, that's another conversation. We're going to processed food versus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
non-processed food. I
Oh
think a
yeah,
lot of
that
people,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand the impact that um, there, we should definitely discuss this on another, but
Yeah.
it has an impact on not only diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure and cholesterol, but it actually has an impact on even certain types of cancers that what people don't realize actually. But
Yeah,
nonetheless, that's a topic for another time.
yeah.
One of our viewers is asking, what are your thoughts on brand boosting metabolism packets and dietary supplements such as Unicity or Yerba Mate products?
It's so funny. I think I did a research paper this in college about like these powders that this person's talking about. And it's something like they were relating it to Diet Coke. It was a study that someone did, and
Really?
they were saying Diet Coke is like, obviously you won't gain weight right now, and you won't see versus regular Coke, right? So I'm kind of giving an analogy here. So you're drinking Diet Coke, you won't see the weight gain, you won't taste the sugar, whatever, whatnot, but you don't know the long term effects of it, right? So same thing with that powder, that you might see an effect right now, but let's say 20, 30, 40 years from now, they're actually, because nutrition, I feel like, is still a, you're still learning things. People nowadays, they're still making new discoveries, and the research is still being done. So you don't know the long-term effects. So I honestly think that when you naturally kind of trick your metabolism, which is what I did, right? When you naturally trick your metabolism slowly, then after that, now I feel like I can eat whatever and I won't gain weight, right?
Mm.
It'll take me a lot, like, to eat, then I'll gain, versus before, when I would even look at soda, I would gain weight. So I think when you naturally trick your metabolism versus these powders, just because you don't know the long-term effects. And that's why a lot of people who take these things in America, and weight loss pills and all this stuff, they end up developing diseases. Like, we mentioned cancer, and is you just don't know the long-term effects, and I don't feel like it's safe. Even if I don't even think a lot of these are FDA approved.
I'm not really sure about whether or not they're FDA approved. I know a lot of people, including myself, actually, I've used Unicity in the past myself. My friends used to joke; they called it my dudu, like just say "छोटे बच्चे का dudu कब बनाते हैं ना?"
My
Like,
mom used to use, what is it? Slim Fast? Something like
yeah,
that.
I don't know about
I
that
think
one.
it's like, it's just a meal replacement. So that I feel like,
Okay.
fine. They're essentially same, meal replacement, things like that. Because it's still, if you look at the back, it'll say it has all these vitamins and whatnot. And even though it's fake, it's fine. Like, it has everything in it. And if you're really trying to, fastly lose weight, that might help, because it does help people when they
Mhm.
do that. But things like powders, honestly, they scare me.
Yeah, no,
So at least,
I totally. I think essentially the goal of these is that you're supposed to have, and if you actually, like you said, if you do things naturally, if you actually drink, because they come in like an eight, you have to put in an 8 ounce bottle of water, right, and then drink it. So if
like
you
a big,
actually drink
yeah,
an 8 ounce bottle of water, and you're supposed to follow intermittent fastings when you do it, so that's how I learned that
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not necessarily that what's helping me lose weight. It's actually my whole entire
yeah.
regimen that I'm following,
That
because I followed it
yeah, yeah.
completely strictly. So if I'm not eating for 12 to 14 hours, and then at the same time, the first thing when I break that intermittent fast, I'm drinking, 8 ounces of water before I eat, I'm not going to feel hungry. I'm going to feel
Yeah, yeah.
like, like I don't want to eat as much, and I'm going to
Actually,
lose weight faster. So,
yeah. That's actually when your it's, I forgot what it's called in your brain, but it comes from the same place, hunger and thirst, right? So sometimes, if you this is what I do. If you feel that you're hungry, take a cup of water, drink some water first, and then wait, like, 15 minutes. And if you're still hungry, you're like, okay, wait, I was hungry. But after 15 minutes, if you still don't feel hungry, you were probably just thirsty. And then second, with this person who asked metabolism, since I said naturally trick it, they might ask how, right?
yeah.
What I felt like I did when I naturally tricked it, I would do intermittent fasting. Works for some people and works for doesn't. You just have to find out. For me, it didn't work. Maybe for you, as I'm assuming it worked, right? But
Hmm.
for me, when it didn't end up working, I felt like since I wasn't eating the right things when I would open that, um, and it would get stored as fat. So every 2 hours instead, now I have like something small. Like, it's not, when I
Hmm.
say snack, I don't mean chips. I mean, like, you'll see me eating little charcuterie plates at home, or something that has things in it. You'll see, okay, this is good for, like, the healthy fats. I'm still keeping that in mind. So I am a big snacker. I eat something every 2 hours or whatnot, about every 2 hours. So then I felt like that really helped the metabolism, because
Hmm.
now I feel like when I eat that big meal at the end, or if I'm eating a burger, I won't end up gaining weight. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Now, I know a lot of people that actually eat, like I call it the bird diet. Like they eat, little bit, and then they
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
gain weight. Even though, and you're like, oh my God, you don't follow a diet, but you don't gain weight. What's happening? Well, you're eating,
Yeah,
you're
because
satisfying. Yeah.
I spend, and someone who's probably done this too, like, they spend so long doing that their body's like, okay, I know every 2 hours she's gonna end up eating, so might as well just use this right now. I know that she's gonna end up eating. So something like that might, in Ramadan, that's why in Ramadan I think pre-planning is super. People don't pre-plan. I think when you pre-plan, like you said, you start fasting before, or people should, if they're caffeine drinkers, they should start lessening it or something before, a couple days before, when you pre-plan things. And something like vitamin D too, right? Oh, like, let me take it once a week in Ramadan, then it helps you, versus when in the middle of Ramadan you say, oh wait, I messed up and this happened, and then you kind of, you have more energy crashes than normal.
Exactly. Going back to one of the things you were mentioning about protein powders, what another viewer is asking, what brand powder do you use, and is it halal? And what ingredients should we be looking for in a
Yeah,
halal, well, certified or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
halal appropriate protein powder?
A lot of that's actually really good because I think some people don't check the back, and there's some that have whey from like they have collagen in it, which is they extract it from like the cow, and we don't know where it came
Yeah,
from.
exactly. Some
So you
even
have,
from pigs. Yeah,
yeah, there is. So it either says it, but regardless, even if it's from beef, like we can't have that because it's not,
exactly. Because
certified. But I used a couple. The funny thing, there's Gulfi Nutrition on Instagram. It tastes like kulfi. They have a mango lassi flavor, and they have, I think, the rose or like rose faluda flavor or something like that. I use that one too, and I really like chocolate protein powders, so I use C4. I also like Premier Protein. I don't like the ready-made drinks ones. I like the powder because I feel like you can get more for your buck when you make it yourself with the powder versus where if you just get the pre-made. But I understand that some people with restrictions for work and school, they can only grab and go, so that makes it easier for them. So if that's something that you're looking for, I mean, Fairlife is really good. You guys know what I do? I put uh, ice, protein drink, and then coffee, like espresso shots on top. So that's my evening coffee drink. That I get my protein in the evening too.
awesome. I hope everybody's taking notes. All right, guys. So it's almost time to end. Guys, you can connect with Rimsha on her
Yeah, DM me.
Instagram, by her Instagram, Food with Rimsha, and also through well, don't connect her through her regular Instagram. I guess nutrition ka hai to nutrition ke through connect kariega, please. Food with Rimsha, and you can I can actually include in the comment section any other information, Rimsha, that you would like to give in regards to how they can contact you for your nutritional services, for sure. Okay, and thank you so much for joining us. I wish I could make this longer. As you can see, there's stuff going around all around me. So I will I will definitely have to have this conversation in a longer format, or maybe like all the topics that we discussed that we need to actually elaborate upon. Rimsha, any thoughts for our audience as we sign off?
I no, I feel like, some may be thinking this is the last 10, so oh, I can't implement this right now, maybe. But you certainly can. I mean, in the last few days of Ramadan, try to implement this, but also, like I said, make it a lifestyle that you can keep up with in the rest of the year. And then hopefully, inshallah, Allah lets us see next Ramadan. So we can prepare for next Ramadan properly. So don't think that, oh, okay, I'll just keep this in mind until next Ramadan. Try to implement the things that I may have said, because I tried to make it not just Ramadan friendly, but life friendly. So try to implement, because the things we should be taking from this month, we should be using in the rest of the year. So we can start right now. Like I said, if you don't even go to the gym or work out or take walks, like I said, if you took anything from this, exercise at home, order those weight ankles, do something like that. Add electrolytes in your daily life, add dates in your daily life, portion control in your daily life. Oh yeah, search up the my plate food, what is it, the my plate food, how you should be eating it sections, and shows you how much percentage of what you should be eating in your, follow your plate like that. I mean, obviously you don't have to like do every 75% this and like ek chawal ka dana, but you don't have to do like that, but kind of keep stuff in your mind. So mindful eating, basically. Yeah, I think
So essentially, Ramadan, again, as I said in the beginning of this live, it comes in our life, it comes every year in our life to give us an opportunity to literally reset our life, whether it's
yeah.
through our iman, our diet, our physical fitness, our health goals, and just the way we reflect and see everything in our life, and subhanallah, in this dunya, and the hereafter for that matter. And if we're not using this month to frankly, I don't want to say reborn, but to kind of just renew everything, we're truly at a loss. And so thank you so much for joining, Rimsha,
Thank
and enlightening us. And this was a live that was my dream for like 2 years, but we finally did it.
you.
Alhamdulillah.
No, this was my dream.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. So, guys, follow Rimsha on Food with Rimsha, and I will include her contact information in the comment section for nutritional contact, or okay. So, all right, all right. So, everybody, take care of yourself, and thank you again so much, Rimsha. You're as always, a complete,
No, thank you. I
complete
hope someone
pleasure.
took even one thing from this. That'll make me happy.
Of course, inshallah. All right, take care of yourself, honey.
All right,
All right,
sounds
all right, take care. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.